I'm Kara Ray, founder of the Powerful and Uncensored Entrepreneurs. I'm a mother, stepmother to 3 beautiful children. I'm a wife and a proud entrepreneur. I'm a mindset coach specifically for the powerful and ambitious online female entrepreneurs who desire to create wealth and abundance in all areas of their life. The Powerful and Uncensored Mompreneur podcast is for the ambitious women and mothers who are ready to rise together and empower one another. Get plugged in each week for unfiltered and uncensored conversations between myself and industry leaders who are here to support you. They have unwavering points of views and empower women to believe in themselves. We will be discussing business, spirituality, sexuality, energy, strong points of views, manifestation, and what I like to call breaking the stigma topics, conversations that will no longer be silenced. This is a safe place to reclaim your power of being a woman. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Powerful and Uncensored Mompreneur podcast. Today, I'm super excited because I'm interviewing Sierra Thering. I said that right, please?
Yes.
Yay! We were just doing this earlier. I do this. I think it's a thing. I think this is my thing on my podcast where I always am like, did I say her last name right? Hey, did I? So, welcome to the podcast. So you guys, Sierra is a social media manager and she helps online female entrepreneurs. Now I can't speak. Guys, she helps female entrepreneurs grow their business through the power of social media. And so I'm excited to have this conversation with you because I have not had a discussion with any social media managers yet. So I think this is going to be a really powerful episode for the listeners and for women who are, interested in this, but really just haven't taken the leap of, hiring out a social media manager. So for those who don't know you, can you explain a little bit more in detail what you do?
Yes. So thank you. I totally agree. I think this is going to be a lot of fun having this conversation with you. I am, like she said, a social media manager. So what I do is I work with women who are trying to grow their business, and we deal with how to really market yourself and your brand on social media using the power that you have and the power that social media has. It can be your best friend or your worst enemy, and it's all just how you see it.
Yes, it sure can. Honestly, social media it's an incredible platform. And it's either like you said, I think a lot of people use it for some incredible empowering things, but there's also, another area for very, inappropriate, dark, and not so great things. And so it's going to be great to have this conversation about social media. So, but I always ask this first question: what is something that you are currently celebrating in your life?
So I'm currently celebrating getting married. We're getting married in August, and I actually go and pick up my wedding dress tomorrow.
Yay! I am here to celebrate that. This is exciting. I saw your Facebook post where you're like, I found the dress. I was like, yes, yeah, she did.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I literally started crying, and the sales lady person was there, and she was literally like, oh my God. And she started crying, and I was like, do you cry for everybody? Is this your thing? You can do tears? She's like, no. She's like, that is perfect. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I remember when I was picking out my wedding dress, it was over my budget, and I was just like, this is the dress. I will figure out and I will make this work. And our wedding song actually came on the second that I started walking out to show my family. And I'm standing there okay, this is a sign. This has to be a sign. And my mom's like, what? Isn't this your wedding song? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay, this is just freaky. It was just, so the experience of getting your wedding dress is such an incredible experience. So I'm so happy for you. That is totally something to be celebrated. And so we're going to go back into social media. And so as a social media manager, what do you ultimately strive to help women in the online space? You were talking about how you help them, grow and expand, but can we talk about that? Dive a little bit deeper into that?
Yeah, of course. So like I said, I work with females because I have a better vibe with females than I do guys. I don't know. I have a better energy with you guys. I can relate more. But I like to work one-on-one, and I don't really work with like companies as much as I work with personal brands and entrepreneurs, because it's again that relation. So we can, focus and relate to each other, and then we get to work towards your power. And then I get to see your goals and connect with you and build that relationship. And I get to really embody your vision through your feed. So whether it's on, whatever platform you're using, Instagram, Facebook, in a group, whatever, I get to feel your energy and show that who you are as a brand through your feed.
So in regards to power, what are you referring to power?
So power it's my thing. I don't know what came into me, but I had a dream. I was mentoring with somebody. This is how I originally got started. And I was like sub-leading through her. And I was like talking to one of her clients, and I was like, you have this zone of power. This is your power. And she's like, my what? And so I actually created this thing called a power Instagram strategy. And it's what I use. Most of my clients have, and they prosper from it. And it's my favorite thing. It's just, everybody has this power, and social media has this power. And to be able to unleash your power and then leverage the power of social media together, you wind down this yellow brick road, if you will, of just marketing and genius and gold. And then you have it both sides fused together, and you have this magical passion that literally helps you show you the path to your goals. All you have to do is walk it.
I love it. So in regards to power, so that be like in regards to myself, I aim to empower women. And so I utilize this platform to utilize my voice. And so I have this like belief that it's going to be polarizing, and either women are going to love it or they're going to hate it. And that's okay, because we're going to talk about things that are like kind of very sensitive sometimes. So would that be kind of ultimately what you would kind of describe as like a power? Because I'm going to be like leveraging that and utilizing that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whatever you feel passionate about, whatever lights you up, and you want that to be, kind of embody you. You want to be, thought of when somebody thinks of who you are, who your brand is, who you are as a business and as a person together. What is that power? That's your power. You own that. You embody that to the world. They see that, they respect that, and they honor that. And then that's what builds your brand.
I love it. I just wanted to make sure that I was clarifying, you guys. Sorry if everybody else is probably like, girl, I get what she's saying. And I'm like, yes, but I want to understand too. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I just want to make sure. Is this what you're saying? And so I love that, you're into social media. I love that you talked about it. Did you call it the power strategy? Like the power?
Yes. The Instagram power strategy.
Okay. So in regards to social media management and being a part of social media, like what was this intuitive pull or this pull in regards to you're like, this is my jam. Like, this is my peanut butter and jelly. I'm good. Like, what was this like, know that this was what you wanted to do?
So honestly, I had no idea. I was sick and I was pregnant and I was stuck at home. And I was like, I need to be able to find a job that I can do from home. I'm going to have my first baby. I want to be able to be home with him. And I started Googling and like researching all of these online jobs. And I did a little research, took a couple courses, and then I started mentoring with somebody. And I was like, she was kind of teaching me, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is what you do. And then I started sub-leading clients from her. So she like would give me like a third of whatever the price they would pay, and I would do the work, and she would like monitor it. And I was like, I love this. This is totally awesome. I love this. And she's like, yeah, you can do it from home and you're great with them. And then I just went out on my own, and I was like, this is it. This is my passion. Having these connections and really just the relationships that I have with clients, with potential clients. It's like this alignment and this magical moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can help you. You want to be helped. We're going to go down this journey and you're actually going to reach your goals. How fucking awesome is that?
Yes. I love that, because I feel like even sometimes when you feel like like this is my purpose, you don't necessarily know, like I like how you called it like this yellow brick road, and how you're like walking down this road and this journey, because I think that's so true. We don't necessarily know what the journey is going to look like. Like, my life is very different compared to what it was prior to me starting my entrepreneurial journey and connecting with women. I was very insecure. I had there was a lot of things that were going on in my life, to now where I speak on a platform that I'm take it or leave it, guys. Like it's
Yeah,
a very,
no, awesome.
but to get to that point, there was a lot of like growth and areas that I needed to work through. And so I think that it's like, you can know and like have this intuitive nudge, like, yeah, okay, maybe this is what I want to do. And then as you keep walking it, you're like, hell yeah, this, I love this. I love the feeling. I love what I provide my clients. I love these aha moments. Like this is incredible. So I love that. I think that's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I love it too. It literally like, it wasn't laid out for me. I never had a dream like, this is what I want to do. I always wanted to own my own business. I wanted to own a bakery business. But I never had any like, oh, I want to work from home. I want to work online, like nothing like that. I was like, I'm a people person. I want to be with people every day. And like the internet, I was just like cut off from. I was like, it's not real people on there. What? No. And now I'm like, this is what I love. I do this all day long. And I honestly couldn't see myself doing anything else.
Well, and I think that, sometimes like the limiting belief of that, like there isn't always real authentic people online is because there is a lot of individuals who aren't necessarily authentic and being themselves, and they feel like they have to play play the fiddle basically, or play this picture. And so I think like in social media, like, would you agree with me that authenticity is just like extremely important?
Oh my God. Yeah. Literally, if you're not being genuine, you shouldn't even be there.
And people can feel that. I think that's like a big thing people need to know too, is that I can tell when someone's not being genuine right away. If I'm reading someone's post and like I can just feel it, like but then I also can feel the energy behind someone who is like so passionate, like incredibly loves what they're doing, and you can like feel that energy from just reading the words.
Oh my God.
That is someone that is just like fired up and loves what they're doing. Like there's just like this big difference, and authenticity is huge in regards to social media, and that's also, I believe, what separates you. It also is what makes you loud on social media. Like I made a post today about how do you get loud on social media? It's been like this big thing where people are like, I'm so overwhelmed by so many people. I'm like, well, you can be overwhelmed, but a lot of people are saying the same thing. So if you're standing out and you're being you are automatically, you're going to stand out. Like people will see you.
Yeah. What I like to say is if somebody wanted if I wanted what you were posting, I would follow you. I wouldn't be following this other person. I would follow the original person because I know they posted. So be yourself. Everybody needs what you have to offer, and only you can explain it. Only you have lived your life. Only you have had your experiences. And if you're willing to share that, and you're willing to open up about it and be genuine about who you are and why you do what you do, people are going to be drawn to it because you're being you. Everybody's more lit up when they're themselves than they're anybody else.
100%. And I think it's like, I want to dive into, content, because I've talked with clients, I've talked with people before about how they're worried that they don't have any content or they can't create content. And I am a firm believer that every single day you are learning something new, and every single day you are living, breathing content. Actually, there's like another lady that I'm friends with, and she says the same thing. Like she firmly believes like every freaking day that you are alive, you can never say that you don't have something to say. You do every single day. And it's like, what's your take on that in regards? Like, have you ever had people who are like, oh, I don't think I can create this content?
I think every single client I've had has felt that way at one point or another. I felt that way, honestly. I've been like, oh my gosh, I just don't know what to do today. And then I like have to resurface and be like, yes, you do. Stop it. Yes, you do. Because it really doesn't have to be that hard. We overthink it as people. We overthink and we overanalyze, and we're like, why are we stressing ourselves out? It really doesn't have to be that hard. Think about it. And this is what my favorite tip when you can't come up with content is: act like you were on a discovery call. You're talking to either your potential client, somebody who just walked into your store, or somebody that you're trying to pitch, and you're answering their problem. They have a problem, you have a solution. Your product, your service, whatever it is as an entrepreneur or business owner you're selling, you are fixing a problem. If you're not fixing a problem, you probably don't have that great of a business. Like, literally, like, not to be rude, but like that's the whole point. You have a problem and you have a solution. Whether it's a confidence or an emotion or an actual like need or like a service, whatever it is, it fixes a problem. Yes. So speak to that. Explain how you solve it. Explain why you do it, and just talk about the solution to it. What is it? What is your client feeling? What's the energy that they have after they leave you? How do they, how does it impact their life? Speak to them. Don't try to social media. Speak to them.
That was honestly, I love that we're talking about this. That was something like, I think we're all human. So we all go through like comparisonitis. We all go through like this need for validation, the worry, the emotions. We go through them like we're human. That's why I focus and I love so wholeheartedly like the mindset aspect of coaching. And I really dive into that piece because like if there's something missing within you and you're so incredibly unhappy, like that seeps into a lot of other areas of your life. And so I'm just a firm believer in mindset, and I love working on mindset and business. Those are the two things that I just absolutely love working on, because I think if you have a kick-ass mindset and you can work through, these limiting beliefs or even these roadblocks that come along, like I believe your mindset is so important. Like I was talking about this with a friend of mine about how like 99% of, online female entrepreneurs quit in their first year.
Yeah.
And half of that has to do with their mindset because they have this limiting belief that they can't freaking do it, or it was supposed to happen sooner than they thought. Like if I quit, like I have invested thousands and thousands of dollars in myself, in my business, in like my life, because I'm passionate about this. Like I was investing thousands of dollars before I was ever seeing like $200 in return. Like these didn't always make freaking sense. Like I'm such a firm believer that if like you really want something, you're going to continue to take action towards that. And those steps might change. Like when you're talking about like this brick road, that might change. You might end up taking like a sharp left. I don't know, but
and that's why it's a road. It's a journey.
Yes. And so, but I'm so passionate about like mindset and really like being in it and making sure that you like love whatever you're doing. Like every morning when I wake up in the day, I want to make sure that I'm getting up and I love what I'm doing. If I'm not loving what I'm doing every day, that does a disservice to me. Like I'm not here for it. I'm not.
And how you mentioned earlier about like the energy comes through the post. If you're not loving what you're doing, people realize that. Energy comes through all of your content on your website, on your posts, in your stories, whatever it is. It shows up and it's like, you're not passionate. Your soul is not on fire right now. And I can see that.
Well, and I like that you're talking about that, because now that I've announced and I can talk about my pregnancy open on the podcast. Yay. This is good. This is like a freedom thing for me. Being so real, you guys, I had to reschedule with Sierra twice because I was so freaking sick. Like, if I'm going to be so real and transparent, I have to give myself grace, and other people, I want to give them the permission to do the same. Like right now I'm growing a freaking human, and that takes a lot. There's days, and I'm so glad that people are very like understanding in that situation, but it's been hard. So there were days where I was like doing Facebook Lives every freaking day, and I was passionate beyond belief. Then I started puking every day. I started not getting so fucking passionate about it, guys. Not because I didn't love my fucking business, but because I was puking every day. Like, how am I supposed to show up on a Facebook Live when I could puke 2 seconds later? Like, to explain these things to like my clients and people feels so liberating. But like at the same time, like we're human and things change. And so it's so important. Like that's why there was days where I was feeling so low that I wouldn't post, because that energy was seeping into my business and different things. There was a time at the beginning of my pregnancy where I was forgetting things. I wasn't writing things down properly. I wasn't showing up as the woman I wanted to be. And I realized that right away. And I was like, okay, I need to reevaluate. Like the things that I was doing before is not necessarily what I'm going to be doing right now. And that's okay. And so it's just that journey and how things happen. But like being so transparent, you guys, like life freaking happens. But make sure like when you're doing something, you're doing it because you're so passionate, and people are very understanding. Like if somebody loves what you're posting, they're going to look for it. Like you were saying, like if I like this person, I'm going to stick and follow with this person. And this is like, I'm going to lead into this like next question I have for you in regards to like social media platforms. But like there are certain people that I follow solely on Facebook, but there's also certain people that I follow on Instagram because I find their energy on one platform is stronger than the other.
Yes.
So, like, this is where I lead into my next one. Is there a platform that you have found your clients feel more strongly in or like weaker in, like vice versa?
Um, well, yes. But it's not like specific to everyone.
Yeah.
So I think everybody has a platform that they feel more comfortable on, that they personally feel either more knowledgeable about, or they have more developed on that platform maybe.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I think you have a specific one. And I always recommend being on multiple platforms. I'm on 3. I don't recommend that. See, now I'm doing it. I don't recommend being on all of them because you're spreading yourself too thin. So if you're on, all whatever 9, 8 platforms that are out there, you're trying to do so much and you're just repurposing the same content. Otherwise, if you're not repurposing the same content, you're going insane. Yes. So I recommend finding 2 or 3, having a diverse, platform things, because people are just on one or just on the other. But I don't recommend doing all of them. But everybody has one that they kind of put more energy into. They give more love to one just because it is more comfortable. And that could be different for you than it is for me, and different for anybody, really. It's just whatever you're most comfortable with and wherever you actually want to show up, because it's going to then transition.
Well, and I think that like you can become, like you can move through that like uncomfortability when it comes to other platforms. And so like I love Facebook. I post on Facebook daily, like multiple times a day. It's a platform I'm comfortable with. That's where I do most of my live videos. I freaking love Facebook. Now, Instagram, I am learning to love Instagram. There's so many features and hacks and tips and tricks that I don't know about, that I am learning about, that I'm like, wow, Instagram is like, this is the place to be. Like, I need to be more prominent on Instagram. But I'm learning, and I'm creating my brand on Instagram now. So like I created my brand on Facebook. My Facebook brand is clear. Like it's out there. That's where it is. And it's now showing up on like my Instagram much more fluently. And so, but that's because I learned like, okay, this is what I like to do. This is how I like to post. And then I remember at the time I was getting so like, I was so mind blown by like the followers, and how like your followers on Instagram can go from like, you could have 30 plus in a day, and then all of a sudden you're negative 40, and you're like, what the shit? Like it just doesn't make sense. But Instagram, like hashtags, the things I never knew about hashtags, or
God, don't get me started.
But I think as in regards to social media, like it needs to be talked about, because like same in stories and things that you can add and things that you can do, and people, like more people can see them, and like the visibility on Instagram kind of freaking blows my mind a little.
Limitless.
Yes, like it. And so I think that maybe is why, to me, I feel like maybe other people find it intimidating, because it is like limitless, and because there is so much exposure through there, or people maybe feel overwhelmed on how to utilize it. So like, what is like a tip that you would tell people in regards to like Instagram and utilizing Instagram for their benefit?
So like we already talked about, not overthinking it would be a really big one, because it doesn't have to be overthought. It can just be as simple as whatever you feel passionate about. But my other big tip would be to show up on stories, whether that's if you're not ready to put your face out there or do a video, do just like type, put the little text color background and type, use hashtags, use GIFs, do polls, engaging stuff like the question sticker and polls are a really fun way to get your audience like pumped and engaging with you. And we all feel better when we get to connect. So like answering a poll or using that little slide bar and, adding your 2 cents in really makes us as followers feel better about the person that we're following. So doing that and utilizing stories and your posts, just showing up for people. It's like, I'm here, take me or leave me.
Well, and I'm loving the new thing with like the Instagram takeovers. Yeah. And how like people are collaborating together through Instagram, because I love collaborating on Facebook. And like currently I have things that are coming in March where like there's a ton of women that are coming together and collaborating and doing things and doing live videos. But like on Instagram, I'm like, okay, I can do live videos with people, but I'm like, I want it to be a little bit different. And then people are talking about the Instagram takeovers. And I'm like, heck yeah. like, that's great to be like for visibility and being on other platforms and talking to necessarily people that aren't in your following. And so, yeah, Instagram blows my mind. I'm just sitting here like all the things.
Instagram is my baby. Like, literally, I didn't have an Instagram before I became a social media manager. I had no interest in it. Like, in my personal life, I was like, I don't actually like to take pictures of myself. I think I had like 12 pictures of myself on my phone. I had like 70,000 of my son and like 1 million of my fiance and my dog. But like, I didn't want photos of me. I was like, I don't need photos of me. No, please don't. And so like, to me, Instagram, if I was like a personal and not a business, it was all like photos of me. And I was like, I don't want that. And it's funny because now I have it for my business and I post photos of me all the time. I'm constantly showing up there. My face is like in the camera, like 2 inches away, like, hi, look at me. And it's hilarious because I was never like that before. And just being in the energy, if you connect with the right people, and this is on any platform, not just Instagram, but if you connect with the right people, the people that light you up, the people that have the same vision as you, and I found these people on Instagram and we, you know, have conversations and build relationships and they're like, oh my God, girl, hop on live. You got this. And like, as I was building my business, I was like, can I do that? Is that like, they told me I could do that, but can I actually do that? And it's like this community of support. And that's what I found through Instagram, which was extremely motivating when I started my business. I was like, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
And yeah, these relationships now are crazy.
I like that we're talking about like the relationships that can be created and have been created through like social media, because still I'm not. But just give me 1 second. Are you there?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. I don't know what happened. This is good. And I love that it wasn't very long. So I feel like I'm not going to edit this part out. I just love it when all of a sudden it's just like, hello. Are you there? Like, we're here. We're good. But in regards to like social media and the relationships that you create, I have created some incredible relationships with the women in the online space. Like every woman that I connect with through the podcast, I don't want the relationship just to like stop. I want to be able to connect with them and continue to collaborate. Or like the women that I know on here, now I can be like, if I have a friend who's like, oh, I'm looking for a social media manager, I'll be like, yeah, I got one. Like, let me refer you to this person. Like, it's utilized like a referral base. Like, there's so many things that like the podcast can be utilized from, and just like the relationships, it means something to me. Like, so even before I do like have anybody on a podcast, I do like an interview with them where I'm like, hey, let's hop on a call, let's talk to each other, and let's get to know one another, because I want to create a relationship with you. Like, I don't just want to be like, okay, see you later. Like, never talk to you again. Bye. Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't know. And I've had some women be like, this is an interesting way of doing it. And I'm like, well, I aim to have a relationship. Like, that's why. So when I connect with the women, like, I want to support you. I want to know what you do. I want to know like about your life and what lights you up, and be able to have these conversations with you that aren't just about like the weather and sports, or because I swear like that, I just want to hit my head against a wall. Like, I am not a person who talks about those things. I don't like dull conversations. I'm like, it's not me. I'm just like, someone starts talking about it, I'm like, can we talk about life?
Yeah. Can we be real for a second?
Yeah. I'm like, can we get really deep? Like, what makes you tick? That's me. And so it's just nice to like how social media can almost provide you with like all these incredible connections, and it can really explode and expand your business in ways that like I don't think people fathom sometimes. Like, collaboration is huge, and talking with women in this space is just, it's amazing what it's done, like for my self-confidence, for my business, for my clients, for other people. Like I've had women reach out about episodes and they're like, that episode gave me like a slap in the face. I needed that. This was an aha moment. Like, thank you. And, or they're like, I can't stop listening. Like I need to hear all of these things. And I've even had interviews with women and I'm interviewing them and they're the coach. And all of a sudden they're like, I listened back to that and I needed to hear my own words.
Oh
like,
my God, I love that.
yeah. And so like, which is incredible. Like this is a platform that I created because it is ultimately free content that is going out. And it's like, people get to listen, they get to hear, they get to talk to new people. And it's important that my audience gets to hear that because I want to provide them with that every single week. They get something for free basically, but also something that's going to provide them with like a ton of tools and information. Like who doesn't love that?
And it's so good. As I know, as a business owner, a lot of us are scared about giving away. Like, how much am I giving away for free? Am I putting too much out there for free? And that's something I've come across a lot with my clients. They're like, I'll talk about like, oh, creating a freebie or creating a challenge. And they're like, oh, no, I don't want to give anything away for free. Like giving away stuff for free is bad. And I'm like, well, no, it doesn't have to be. Like, it's all about show. Like, I entirely believe in giving, because if you give out to the universe and you give out to your clients and you give to your audience, like that comes back. It comes back tenfold. Like I literally 100% believe that if you say yes, and I'm going to give to you, and I'm going to give to you, and I'm going to give to you, somebody's doing the same thing behind, and they're giving to you and giving to you and giving to you. And it's like this endless like list of people, almost like a telephone train kind of thing.
Like a ripple effect kind of?
Yes, like a ripple effect. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like, just give it away. I mean, like, it sounds so stupid. How can I make money if I give stuff away? And it's like, it works. Like, it just does.
Because you can. Because I've created a few different free trainings that I do within my community. Like that's where I specifically do them. But I've also done like interview styles, and there's new things that I'm bringing together. And I always aim to provide my clients, like, especially if I launch a program, I always do a free training prior so that they know what the program is geared towards. So that they're like, okay, I freaking love this. I can't wait to see what I'm going to get in this door. Like if I'm getting this, what the hell am I going to get when I pay, right? Like,
if I'm getting this for free,
yes.
I'm like, oh my God, she's going to blow my freaking mind when I actually pay her.
Yep. I've honestly had clients who are like, they've joined, like I have my one program that's like the Prosperous and Wealthy Mindset Academy, where they're like, this is all I paid to be a part of this, where I'm like, well, I believe it's marked at the right price, like I do energetically, but I'm like, yeah, they're like, there's so much goodness in here. Like, what the shit? And I'm like, thank you. This is great. I'm here for it. I love it. But that's what I aim for. I want my clients to know that they're ultimately supported, and the information in my programs, in my coaching is for them. And like, even in my free content, like I'm not going to create something that's a free content for you if it's not providing you with something. Like I created that spirituality and business training. And that was like, it was how to create a spiritual practice. There we go. And so I created that one in my community. I had that wasn't even something that I usually talk about. And women were like, yes, I like this. I like this. And I was getting messages and I was like, wow, I need to talk about this some more. Like doing free trainings sometimes can really allow you to get to know your audience so much more about what they like, what they dislike, polling. Like, I like how you're talking about like Instagram, the same thing for Facebook, like making sure that people feel connected to you and that they want to be heard is so important. Like if I know someone that I follow like adamantly on Facebook or Instagram and they create a poll, you're damn right I'm going to answer that poll because I want my opinion to be heard too. Like,
yes.
So I just think that's important to.
The other thing about that is you might not actually be speaking. I worked speaking to them. I worked with somebody and they focused more on themselves and they didn't realize it. So they were like talking about how they solved the problem for somebody, how they did this, how they showed up. When instead what they needed to be doing was, why do you need me to show up? What problem do you have? And centering it around their audience, and they were centering it around themselves. So they did a poll and they were like, hey, what would you like to see more of? This or this, this or this. And they found out that their audience wasn't interested in what they were saying. They were like, this isn't what we want to hear. We want to hear, choice B. And they were like, oh, wow. I didn't realize I wasn't giving my audience actually what they needed.
Well, because ultimately, like, people want to hear, they want to hear you celebrate all these big moments, but what is the word I want to use? We are not, we are people who like to receive. So, like, if someone is gearing something towards us, and our problems and what is going on with us, we are much more inclined to say yes, if this makes sense. You're laughing and I'm like, oh no.
It totally makes sense. You were trying to come up with the word and I was like, trash can. And I was like, that's so not right.
That is not the word. That is not the word. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I thought of this word, trash can. That is
you're constantly putting stuff.
That is too good. That is a moment. Like, this is a podcast moment, you guys.
Oh my God.
That's like a squirrel brain moment where all of a sudden someone's talking about something and you're like, bananas. I love this. But we're humans. Like, we are designed to receive, and we like to receive even if we're not aware that we're doing that. And so if someone is giving something which ultimately we're receiving in that way, we're more inclined to really say yes. We ultimately want to know what's going to change for us.
Right.
Not every other Tom, Dick, and Harry. We want to feel it to us. And so, because that was something I didn't focus on at the beginning too. I was not necessarily giving them the pain points or the feelings that they were feeling, or what these the moments they would feel after. I wasn't explaining it that way at the beginning, and then now I've really explained a lot of more pain points to people and what they're feeling, and this area that they're in. And so it's important to really describe that. Description is so important.
Oh my God. Literally reading the post. Have you ever read a post and you're literally like, yes, this is me. This is me. This is me. Oh my God, she's speaking to me. Literally. Yes. This is exactly what she's saying. I needed to hear this. And being able to elicit that response from your audience, it's key. It's that's how you move closer. If you think about it, you start in one spot and your audience starts in another, and every interaction, whether it's a post or a story or a DM or a video call, whatever it is, you're slowly moving closer to the point where you actually connect into a client and clientee relationship. Obviously,
it's late, guys. It's late. Oh, that's good. I love how I wish people could see these videos and how we respond. I was telling someone before that I thought about refurbishing all these videos, because I do a video version and an audio version, and then creating them into a YouTube channel so that people could actually see the way that we're interacting with each other in our Facebook expressions.
Gosh, people would think I was crazy.
Well, I feel like people would think I am too. There's days where I have my head on, or my hair is super crazy, and I think it would be kind of funny because it's very real and authentic.
Oh my God, totally. It's life. This is Life Happens uncensored version.
Trash can. Yeah. Oh, this is what happens. I'm just gonna message you that tomorrow and be like, hey,
totally fine.
Trash can. Oh dear.
I have a friend that calls me Cookie because she asked me, we were on a phone call, and she asked me to let her know, because she couldn't be on the phone and set a timer. So she was like, let me know when it's 10 minutes. And I was like, okay. 38 minutes later, she's like, why does my house smell weird? I was like, your cookies are burning. Yeah. So she calls me Cookie now, and it's awesome.
That's funny. I should call you Oscar.
Oh, I love him.
It's perfect, guys. We have now nicknamed Sierra Oscar after the couch. Trash can. It works. It fits. So before we like end the interview here, is there one thing that you just wish like all women in the online space just like knew in their core?
I wish that women would just stop fighting with each other, stop comparing themselves to each other, stop knocking each other down. I feel like this happens way too much, and it happens so much like business to business. Some of the best like business besties that I've met in the online community do the exact same thing that I do. Like literally are also social media managers and coaches. So, and we have this relationship. So we just, as women, need to stop fighting each other. Like we're here to empower each other. We're here to support each other. And I've had friends for 12, 15 years that don't support me in what I'm doing, have no idea, don't understand it, don't have any interest in understanding it. And I've met people, 4 days ago that are more supportive. One of the closest friends that I have, I met 6 months ago on Instagram. And it's like this just beautiful relationship. And they do the exact same thing that I do.
Yeah. I love that you talked about that, because I'm very much about women empowering women and women stepping into their their space and loving the shit out of themselves and each other. And
oh my God.
Because like when I first started my entrepreneurial journey, I was like looking for communities that I felt that I resonated with and I'd be a part of, and then I ended up coming across like hate groups and people who were judging moms. And I was just like, oh, this is so not okay. Like, this is not a world I choose to live in. Like, this is not what I want to teach the next generation or like my children. Like, I don't want to teach my children this. And so I want to know, I want my daughter to know that as she's growing, she's watching her mom empower other women and talk to women about lifting themselves up instead of tearing themselves down. That's what I aim to do. And so I love that you talked about that and touched on that because it's so important. And we can compare ourselves, but honestly, we are behind a freaking screen. Comparing yourself to somebody else is just ridiculous. I used to do this. So I'm not this person who's being like, I've never done this before. This happened to me. It is not something I never want to do again, but I'm human and comparison will happen. But I was talking to a woman who reached out to me and she was like, how do you do your Facebook Live so confidently? I watch your Facebook Lives and you're so good. And she's like, I can never do this. And I was like, stop yourself in your tracks right there. I'm like, because you can. You telling yourself you can't is a disservice to yourself in all aspects. I'm like, if you for a moment think I don't shit my pants sometimes before I go on a Facebook Live, you are crazy. Because seriously, there are days where I'm like, whew, this is a heated topic. And I'm feeling all the emotions and my cheeks are red and I've got a rash all over my freaking body because I'm going on Facebook.
Puked.
Yeah. Pregnancy life, guys. But seriously, this happens. You don't see what's going on in the background. Nobody knew about my pregnancy and about me puking until I decided to share it now. Nobody knew about these things that I needed to reschedule. Well, you did. Besides the point. A lot of people didn't know. And now they do. And there's so many things that I can talk about and empower other women in saying things and just, I just want women to love the frick out of each other. Like you said, we are here to support one another and be in each other's corner. And like you said, I have people I've been friends with for years and years and years, and they don't even mention what I'm doing. It's as if it doesn't exist.
Yeah. It's that thing that you do.
Yeah. And we don't talk about it.
Yep.
It's there was a lady who asked me, she's a friend of mine, and I was talking about what solo episodes people wanted to hear. I'm like, tell me, I want to hear from you and I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys what you want to hear. And she's like, I really want to really know more about your life. Getting pregnant really early and getting engaged so quickly and all the different flack and hate that you heard from so many people. She's like, I really want to know how the hell you overcame all of these things. And I'm like, whoo, that is a juicy episode. I am ready for this. But it's going to be real and raw. But ultimately, I'm not it's to empower other people that like my story isn't perfect. I'm not perfect. And I don't want people to assume that I am, because perfection doesn't freaking exist.
Right.
It doesn't. Like the word perfection.
Yeah.
Just needs
what
to get
we don't see is on the other side of the screen.
Yeah.
Like you don't actually know. If I were to reverse the camera, you'd see, you know, toys everywhere and pillows and my dog sleeping upside down. Like you have no idea what's on the other side of that screen. We show what we want to show on social media, and 98.9% of people on social media aren't actually being authentic, aren't actually being their real self. So what you see and what you're comparing yourself to doesn't necessarily mean that it's legit. You could be comparing yourself to this like business Barbie that isn't real. And your life, that's the only thing you have control over. And you need to just stop the comparisonitis, stop the rabbit hole, and just accept that this is us. We can only honor ourselves, and we can be here and support each other. Like what you were talking about, empowerment. Literally, my goal is to empower, my 5-year goal is to empower 100,000 women to their dreams. Literally, it's my word for 2019. Like, that's all I want, is to be there and support. And everybody can do that in their own way.
100%. I am so here for your goal. Yep.
Me too.
I am here. I'm like, preach it and let people know. So I want to thank you so much for being on this episode. But before we go, can you let everybody know like where to find you on social media? And I will make sure to write this all in the show notes after, so that people can just click on that and they can go straight to your profile. But where can they find you?
So I am on Instagram at SR Zaring. You can find me there. I go live every week and stories all the time. DM me. I'm free to chat. And I also have a Facebook group, Mighty Mom Boss. And it's all about empowerment and community and supporting one another and growing together. So I don't
love it
yet, but I will.
So I will make sure that those are on the all in the show notes. And thank you so much. And everybody else, I will see you guys all in the next episode. Bye, guys.